Hi, this is the Daily Forex Report for December 2nd. We are looking at the US Japanese yen pair first. This pair created an inside bar over this last session. It did close down, overall moving sideways, biased to sideways. Look for it to potentially go as high as 84.73, possibly as low as 83.05. Now, as far as looking for some resistance, we have potential resistance around the 84.50 mark, and looking for this pair to hit some support around the 83.35 mark. Okay, let's take a look at the Euro USD pair. This pair closed higher, moved higher. We are looking for this pair overall for the bias to be to the downside. Look for it to potentially go as high as 1.3381, possibly as low as 1.2982. Look for it to hit some resistance around the 1.3280 mark, right around here, and look for it to hit some support a little bit lower at the 1.3050 mark. Okay, let's take a look at the pound US dollar pair. This pair closed down, had a fairly large range day, moving to the upside first and then down. Overall, this pair is moving sideways, biased to the downside still. Looking for this pair to potentially go as high as 157.43, possibly moving down to 154.37. Look for it to hit some resistance around 1.5666, right about here, and look for it to hit some support around 154.75, so right about here. Okay, let's take a look at the US Swiss. This pair moved strong to the downside. Basically came and hit some previous areas of support and then pulled back a little bit, did close down. Overall moving sideways, biased has shifted now towards the the bias has shifted to moving sideways as opposed to moving to the upside. Look for it to potentially go as high as 1.0111 and possibly as low as 0.9782. Look for some resistance around 1.0065 and look for some support to come into the market around the 0.9885. So right around in this area. So pretty decent range, but here again we had a very strong and large range during today's session. Okay, as far as news analysis go, we have the Canadian dollar releasing their net change in employment for November at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus on that is that it has moved from 3.0K to 15.0K. Their unemployment's also being released. Unemployment rate at 7 a.m. Eastern Time for November looks like it's held at 7.9%. We also have the U.S. releasing their non-farm payroll, second largest news announcement out there. That's being released for November, showing a decrease from 1.51K to 145K, which would be good news for the U.S. dollar. Okay, what am I looking for during this next session? Well, I just kind of wanted to go through a couple of things real quick. We have the US Swiss. We have a swing trade opportunity there. As you can see, we do have the potential for it to move to the downside. I'm just going to quickly go through a lot of different scenarios. Here's one. We got a pretty steep curve here. It's a good ways from the open. The next area that we hit of previous support's about 18 pips, and it has a good 50 or 60 pips to move to the upside. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Now, looking at the US Japanese yen pair, this particular pair is created an inside bar during this last session, as you can see here. And we have the potential for a breakout of this pair, either to the downside or the upside. The nice thing about inside bar trades is that it can go in either direction. So that's one nice thing about it. As far as direction, it really doesn't matter which way it goes. You're just looking for it to move. So we have some areas here to the upside grabbing about 27 pips to the downside, grabbing roughly about 30 pips. So that is one potential trade there. Now looking at the Euro USD, here we have a potential to use our Fibonacci retracement and our Fibonacci fan. Here we go. If we take a look at that, Fibonacci fan, boom. There we go. And you can see, let me zoom in now, that we have a potential for it over this next session. Basically, we'd look for a break here of this box, look to buy on this one. Oh, there we go. Not too straight there, but basically look to buy at this point and then look to exit here. So could be a trade roughly during this next session, looking to grab about 140 pips with a stop loss of about 58. Let's take a look at the pound US dollar pair. This pair, no real trade setup, it's just kind of moving sideways. US Swiss, we already talked about it. So basically what I want to show you is that you can go through, and it doesn't really matter what pair. You can go down on the lower time frames and just see what's there. Do you see an inside bar? Well, here's one that has been created on the 4-hour time frame, so you could look for a breakout there. You could drop down to the hour time frame and you can see on the hour time frame, let's zoom in a little bit and see what's there. We have another inside bar. Looks like it's been broken by this previous session, but you still have a situation where we have consolidation. You could look for a potential breakout of this, depending on where this closes, and look for it to come down. So a little bit of a flag there. And you can change the different pairs up and see what's going on the lower time frame as well. Look for swing trade opportunities. Look for breakouts. Here's one, a swing trade opportunity on the hour time frame. Created over these 3 bars. You could look for a breakout and then look for it to move up to this high, which we have previous resistance, 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 and look to grab that 10 pips or so. So it really doesn't matter what pair you're on, what time frame you're on. You can look for potential trades. You can go up even. You can go up to the week time frame and look at potential trades on the week time frame with the different pairs and see what opportunities are really there. Well, I hope that helps, and until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.